Hello and welcome back to Like Maria. This is a little video on J.B. Priestley and some important context that you might not know about already. I'm going to talk about his time plays and the idea of time in An Inspector Calls. So great for context with GCSE. Please subscribe if you like this video and you'd like us to make some more. And I hope by today you'll understand a little bit more about time plays, just like Maria. First of all, let's think about An Inspector Calls and its genre. Genre means what type of play it is. Some people look at it as a morality play, a play that teaches us something, that looks at decisions we have to make in our lives, and it encourages us to have a good outcome, to improve our lives in some way or respect due to having watched the play. And in this case, you can see An Inspector Calls as a morality play. Priestley is very much hoping that we contribute to the play by changing our opinions and thinking more carefully about how we treat individuals in our life. So that's number one. Number two, we might look at An Inspector Calls as a detective drama. An inspector pitches up, there's a dead body, and he questions people to find out. So not a conventional drama, of course, because it's questionable whether or not the inspector actually exists and the body isn't murdered in a conventional way, but there are aspects of this. So that's number two, detective drama. And I think these two are very important and useful ways of looking at the play. The last genre I want to talk about today is An Inspector Calls as a time play. And this is a subgenre, really, that Priestley made his own. He did several other plays that would fall into this category. And by time play, I mean that he is writing a play that deals with issues surrounding time. Time is one of the big themes in his play. And this is really introduced to us as an audience at the end of this particular play, when the telephone rings and there's a dead body being found. And it takes us right back really to the beginning of the play, when the door is answered and the inspector arrives. So there's this transition in the play from right at the end to back to the beginning in a kind of circular motion. When we hear about the telephone call as an audience, we start thinking, oh, it's going to go round again. What's going to happen this time? Are people going to change those ideas? Would they do the same again? I also think it's quite important to think about this play in terms of Aristotle's unities of time. And he was saying that really for a drama, for a tragedy, he was mainly talking about, things have to happen in a way that we can follow as an audience in almost real time. And that's very much the case here. We follow the family as they are finishing their meal and then as the inspector comes. But on a greater scale, we're not really there and participating in a linear sense of time because we're jumping around in the play. We're going back to different moments in Eva Smith's life with the characters as they are focused on and as they are spotlighted. So in that sense too, time is being contorted, brought forward and moved backwards. So do please think about those ideas when you're mapping out your response to the play. Now, going back to this point about circularity and thinking about whether the characters would behave again the second time round, which is what we're introduced to at the end of the play, we know that Priestley was very interested in ideas about time, and he followed two particular writers and kind of philosophers and writers who had ideas about time. The first of these was J.W. Donne. He wrote about ideas about dreams. He wrote about individuals observing the past in their dreams and also predicting the future from their dreams. So he wrote about how our subconscious and how our other experiences can inform our interpretation of the past and our prediction of the future. So he was very interested in that idea of people exploring times and time not being linear, but the individual being able to jump back and forth in time. The other person that Priestley was very interested in was Ouspensky. And Ouspensky developed a theory that lives were lived over and over again. So he said one individual will be born over and over again into the same situation, the same context, and would repeat their life over and over. And Ouspensky says that this gave people an opportunity to either follow the same path again and again, or to stop making mistakes, stop repeating mistakes, and to break out, to get rid of the repetitive nature of life and make a change. So there was an opportunity in the way that Ouspensky perceived people's lives. They could either repeat or they could break out and change. So these two important writers influenced Priestley. It's not necessarily that he believed what they said, but that he was very interested in the way that they were looking at time in fresh ways, writing and thinking about time, and challenging concepts of linear time. And of course we do this all the time now in looking at science fiction and time travel, programmes like Doctor Who and a variety of things where we are subverting the natural flow of time. Now, An Inspector Calls isn't the only play in which this is addressed, and if you're looking for one play to do further research on, I would suggest Time and the Conways. So, in Time and the Conways, quite similar setting initially to An Inspector Calls. We have a family gathering for a birthday in 1919, Act 1. Act 2 jumps forward to 1937, and it shows the same people gathering for the same birthday, but things have moved on and the family has started crumbling apart. So 1937, reflecting back on 1919 and showing people how the characters have grown up and developed. Act 3, we jump right back to 1919 and we see this birthday gathering, but we see it again with nuances of the characters that flag up some of the things that will happen later in life. So here Priestley is playing with time and playing with characters' individual development, and he is showing us individual characters, how they progress, and showing them with perhaps some opportunities to progress differently or how they could have lived life differently. So as an audience, we are reflecting on our own opportunities in life and our own ideas about the decisions we make and how they will influence our future life and our future happiness, essentially. So there we have it, a little introduction to Priestley's time plays. I really do recommend that you go away and have a further research about this and to find some extra knowledge so that you can look at An Inspector Calls just like Maria.